For 35 years, Scott Cotherman relentlessly embraced and created change. An industry builder and a forward-thinking leader, Scott mentored staff and clients, nurtured talent, and continuously searched for opportunities to secure the present by investing in the future. Scott's mother, Connie, worked in HR at Eli Lilly and Company, and his father, Richard, was a sales rep for Smith, Kline & French Laboratories, now GSK. Scott attended sales calls with his father, where he learned firsthand how products were marketed and sold to physicians. Scott attended Ball State University, where he studied business administration and psychology, and attended graduate school at the University of Chicago, studying organizational development. Scott's love of healthcare advertising was inspired early in his career. While working in an orthodontics company, he was asked to volunteer as a model for the cover of a promotional brochure, a simple act that would change everything.
That early work that he did on that brochure sparked something in him. Working with the creative team, seeing how the work gets produced, seeing the photo shoot happening, this was really when he fell in love with the business.
I feel very fortunate that he came into the agency's life, and for that matter, into my life. When he first came to work, right away you knew you had a man with great integrity, great sense of humor, but more importantly, somebody who needed to learn about our industry. Well, let me tell you folks, he's a fast learner. Within a couple of years, I knew I had somebody on my hands who could take over this operation. Scott had the ability to understand and love the people with whom he worked. He had an understanding of the excitement that came about when two people got together and made something happen. That's what advertising is all about.
Our agency's mission was we grow leaders, leadership brands, leadership talent, and leadership ideas. And no one was a bigger proponent of great ideas than Scott.
Scott's leadership style enabled great things to happen. One situation comes to mind, and that was the anti-infective battles. Alcon versus Allergan. This is a battle that went on for many, many years. Yet rarely could either company move market share more than a half point. Rather than taking the traditional scientific approach, the corporate team went to look at the impact to the patient and uncovered what was in fact a key motivating factor. And that motivating factor was getting the patient, the child in this case, back to school sooner, which brought to us the Pretty in Pink campaign. Not only moved the market a half point, but moved the market close to 10 percentage points.
Scott pushed clients to be bold or be forgotten. Under his leadership as CEO of Corbett, many #1 brands were born, including Abilify, for which the agency served as AOR for 13 years.
It was a very challenging drug to position and to launch, in that it was the 6th antipsychotic to enter the market, and it had a unique and frankly difficult to understand mechanism of action. Despite that, the drug became one of the top 10 launches of all time and eventually became the largest selling drug worldwide. One thing that always impressed me about Scott was that he always kept the patient in mind at the end of the day. You can get caught up in so many different things in positioning brands, but he always realized and made sure we all realized that there was at the end a patient.
As Scott guided the growth of Corbett, he constantly sought new ways to expand capabilities, extend reach, and align with client needs.
He merged Corbett with the Excel group here in New York to expand into the New York arena because he was listening to clients. Some of his clients wanted them to have a Manhattan presence. And so he went back and worked on it and came back to me with a solution. And in order to create a global footprint for Corbett Excel, he decided that he was going to develop a strategic alliance with TBWA. He did it on his own. It was a phenomenal idea. It did extremely well for the agency and for the people and for the talent there, and did extremely well for clients, because one thing that Scott understands is listening to clients and understanding what their needs are. And he tries to stay ahead of those needs all the time.
Scott's passion and commitment to the future of healthcare went well beyond advocating for his agency and clients. He served as chairman of the Medical Advertising Hall of Fame for 3 years, and he was deeply committed to the mission of the Coalition for Healthcare Communication.
There was a pesky little law showing up in Vermont the law would have made it illegal to use pharmaceutical overnight prescription data for marketing purposes. At Scott's insistence, we put together a little coalition of people to support IMS and others to challenge that in court. In fact, the case went all the way to the Supreme Court of the United States in the IMS versus Sorrell case. We won it, established the proposition that our business was protected by the First Amendment and that the Vermont case was unconstitutional.
Shaping the future was Scott's passion. He was among the first to recognize a seismic shift in healthcare that would change how medicine is practiced, how brands are marketed, and how patients are ultimately treated.
Late 2007, I got a call from Scott, and he said, Suri, I was just reading an article in Wired magazine. It's all about this company called 23andMe and personalized medicine, and I don't know how and when it is going to impact our industry, but I know it's going to, and I know it's going to have a big effect on how we work with our clients and how we communicate to our audience. It is also what Scott affectionately calls his oh shit moment.
To better understand the impact of precision medicine, Scott commissioned 3 landmark studies involving both physicians and patients.
We identified what the educational and the communication gaps are in this whole area, and it also helped to identify what the opportunities and the potential barriers are in accelerating the adoption of personalized healthcare into clinical practice. It led us to receive the 2011 Medical Advertising News Vision Award, and Scott was recognized for the investment and the thought leadership that was made in the area of personalized medicine.
Scott was most certainly an industry visionary, but he also touched so many of his colleagues on a personal level through his integrity, loyalty, sense of fairness, and passion for everything he did.
You knew where you stood with Scott. He was direct, and he would hear direct answers. And I believe that's always been the great basis of a great relationship and a great collaboration.
He's constantly and consistently concerned with other people, with talent, and with making this industry a better place for everyone.
Scott always took the time with one-on-one sessions and discussions to support and to educate me and to really act as a mentor. And I'll always be so appreciative of that. And you know, I thought I was just learning marketing and positioning and the pharmaceutical business, but he took it to another level, and I learned just as much about, again, leadership and creating a positive atmosphere and culture in which to work.
Scott Cotherman is a leader among leaders, a passionate and visionary CEO who pushed for the best creative work, and a man of great integrity. He leaves a lasting legacy, and his ideas and actions will positively shape healthcare marketing and advertising for many years to come.